Okay, good afternoon. First of all, I should thank the organizers, the Veronese Foundation, for this very important meeting. Today I'm wearing two hats, actually. One hat is the Vice President of Al-Quds University, and the other hat is the Palestinian co-director of IPSO. I will be speaking on the history of cooperation and research between the Palestinians and the Israelis. Let me put you back exactly after the 1993, when the Oslo Agreement was signed. It was a historic signing between the Palestinians and the Israelis. We all dreamt of peace coming to our area, and we all loved to establish peace over there. Then, immediately after 1993, people-to-people research work and projects started running over there in various fields, immediately after Oslo. Hoping at that time that the Palestinians, according to the Oslo Agreement, that within 5 years, the Palestinian state will be established over the West Bank and Gaza, and full relationships between Israel and Palestine would take place. So at that time, inevitable cooperation was there. And people cooperated in commerce, finance, security, even security. So why not research and education? This is why lots of activities started in research and activities, research and education. No doubt about the common language, that science is a common language and builds bridges among diverse cultures. And we use science and science cooperation in promoting regional cooperation, first of all, between the Israelis and the Palestinians, and later on was a lot of cooperation between various countries like Israel and Palestine working with the Italians on a trilateral project. And later on, I will give you an example on science education where the Palestinians and the Israelis and the Italians, especially with the Science Museum in Naples, we have established the first interactive mathematics museum in the history of Palestine and the first interactive mathematics museum in the Arab world. And this was serving the kids and children of all schools in Palestine. Why we seek looking into science for peace? We need better science to make us deal better with the future challenges of our planet. But back home in Palestine, we have many problems that we started dealing with them, like water problems. So you'll find lots of projects between Palestinians and Israelis on water management, water use, water pollution. Energy. As you know, Palestine is a sunny country, Israel too, so we could work on alternative energy together, for example, like the solar energy, and use the solar energy. At the same time, we may think of combating disease and poverty. This slide over there shows you how the kind of projects that we worked on. We work on environmental projects, water, agriculture. We work on public health, medicine, food, and agriculture. One of the most successful projects, well, these are all projects that were run between Palestinians and Israelis. And one of the most successful projects my colleague Dan Bitan was talking about is the nanotechnology, in which we are working on cancer research. And if you talk about cancer, cancer is not a Palestinian-Israeli issue. It's a global issue. All the world now is trying to look for a cure for various cancer kinds. So we have started using nanotechnology where we track the cells and destroy the cells whenever they are. And I think the two partners have been working nicely, and you have seen the two partners on the slide earlier before when my colleague Dan showed that. Also, we are working on other important, on the synthesis of drugs to deal with the cancer in the blood, leukemia. And we have actually, this is a fantastic project where an Israeli Palestinian is working with a Palestinian in the West Bank and with an Israeli at the Hebrew University. So they simulate the drug on a computer, and some other people synthesizing the compound in the laboratory. And thirdly, we go and start testing the compound on its activity. This is, again, it's a very successful project, and we are hoping that a patent will come out of this research. This is the kind of project which is really a very successful project on science education. It's almost a 3 million euro project in which we have participated with many Israeli institutions, and this is basically on education to improve science education in high schools. So it has many elements, and we have done a lot on that actually, and we have established the first science museum in Palestine. And this is when we established the Science Museum in Palestine. We did this with the Bloomfield Science Museum in West Jerusalem. And this Science Museum now is there at my university serving the youngsters and school children. And you know how much it is the usefulness of this project when school children come over there and they interact with the exhibits. All the exhibits are interactive exhibits, so they tend to become curious about science and learn better the science. It has 6 elements, and I can't go in such a short time on those elements. However, it was part of it on establishing the Science Museum. Part of it was on laboratories for kids. We have established 4 laboratories for school children in biology, in chemistry, in physics, in computer science. School children come over to the university to get training over there. And you know the bad situation of the schools. I mean, and when it comes to science, they have no laboratories, no museums, no nothing. A website on science education is there. Any teenager in any school can log in, and he can go to this website. Also, we have trained many faculty members to curriculum development and textbook writings. They were involved with some of the Weizmann Institute, which is the best institute in Israel and probably is the best, one of the best in the world. Also, we've sent some students to get their master's degrees and PhDs, all this through this funded project from the European Commission and ACPP, actually Andrea and Charles Brumpen Philanthropy and the Goldsmith Foundation. This is one of the successful projects. I want to stress on these things actually. Our joint projects have helped very much on human resource capacity building because we have trained people into the master's and the PhD degrees, and this is my colleague Dan Bitan talked about that. In terms of infrastructure, I could frankly tell you that we have built the best laboratories over there, especially if you talk about nanotechnology. You wouldn't imagine a nanotechnology research laboratory is established under, the kind of situation that is existing, almost occupation in the West Bank, but we are doing research in nanotechnology. Well, in terms of scientific publications, we have a large number of publications in international peer-reviewed journals, which is very good, conference workshops. Networking is extremely important. The network that has been established with professors here in Italy, I could mention now 15 various universities that we have established relationships with them, one of them with the University of La Sapienza in Rome, and we run a project where Palestinian students and Israeli students and Italian students study for a master's program in which half of it in Israel and Palestine and the other half here in La Sapienza. So at the end, the students, both the interaction among the Palestinian and Israeli students is extremely important, and they move from back home where they live and they come to Rome to finish their master's program. It's actually, this project is funded by the Ministry of Foreign Affairs. The minister, pity is not here. So we talk about mobility of people, knowledge and skills, which is very important among the Palestinians and the Israelis. The other relevant things, you could see that the human interaction among the scientists and researchers, you could see Israelis and Palestinians working together, like the picture you saw just a moment ago about Mukhlis Sawan and his colleague, the Israeli partner. They work together, they go sometimes for dinner together, they enjoy themselves together. So the social interaction is extremely important because you tend to listen to each other and each would talk about his narrative to the other colleagues. And there was a lot of trust building. We talk, of course, about the existing situation and the lack of peace in the country. However, we should always understand that working together on science and research is not enough. Is not enough. This is part of the project that worked on the water problems, health, agriculture, environmental problems. Let me go back to IPSO. One important thing we should ask ourselves, does IPSO as an organization serving the scholars, Israeli and Palestinian scientists, is enough for solving the Palestinian-Israeli problem and creating peace? I think the answer is no, because although it did a lot in confidence building and trust, friendship, social interaction, networking, however, there must be a political will. And the political will is extremely important. The international community should be there to help both the Palestinians and the Israelis to finish this ongoing situation, because the ongoing situation, nobody would accept that. Probably the Palestinian people are the last nation on this earth that are under occupying forces. And I think by the withdrawal of the Israelis from the West Bank and Gaza and establishing a two-state solution, the two people would really boost working together on all avenues, not only science. They would work on complete cooperation. You mentioned it on commerce, on trade, on finance, on security matters, on everything. And I think we should all work on that. One more point that IPSO now is running under critical conditions. We have almost 20, I can assure you that we have 20 projects, very excellent projects, because we send them to reviewers, international reviewers. They are in science, in physics, in public health, in nutrition, in chemistry, and they need funding. And we are looking for the international community. We are looking for Italy as well here to support this project. The water history project is funded by Italian money. It's through the UNESCO. But however, IPSO is an important venture. It's an important project. It should continue to work because we are bringing both Palestinian scholars and Israeli scholars for better research, and we are creating knowledge and disseminating knowledge in the area and abroad. Thank you for your listening. I hope we have peace in the area.